Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX, and it's time for the daily video. We've had some kind of boring markets for the U.S. session today. Not too terribly much has gone on, which is why we're not trading too much on Monday mornings during the U.S. sessions lately. Really getting some better movements out of those UK kind of start of the week UK movements there. So anyways, we had a good start of the week. We'll talk about the trade we took, but just a quick look here. Looks like the Dow and the U.S. markets are going to end somewhat in the positive. Oil's taken a bit of a positive run there. You can see it's getting back up to some higher levels that we haven't seen in several weeks. Gold is up there as well, back up into the teens there, 16.15 right now. S&P looks like it'll close positive, and Dow's looking pretty good as well. So decent day, not a hugely fantastic day, but it's been decent. Nothing too crazy exciting as far as what we have coming out today. Bernanke spoke, but it wasn't really something related to the day-to-day trading markets. We do have interest rate coming out of Australia tonight, and that's going to be in several hours from now, about 9 or 10 hours from now, so that should be a decent mover. Coming into tomorrow, we got a couple of things here, some Swiss franc announcements, a little bit of news out of the UK, some Canadian news, and a little bit of Japanese news tomorrow afternoon. So nothing for the US during the US session tomorrow, so that should that'll be okay. I think we've still got some good enough stuff to work with to get some nice trades coming up. So here's what we have on the euro dollar. You can see that it's double topped pretty nicely here. If we look at the slightly larger time frames here, like the daily chart, for example, from this high, which is back in June, to the low in July, that range, when we draw some fib levels in there, we can see that the euro dollar has kind of been bumping around on this 50% fib. Hit it. We ended up getting a really nice trade to close the week last week. We entered just above this level right here and rode the pair up about 45 pips and made a nice little 45 pip run on Friday on the euro dollar. So that was a great little trade. And then we had our nice little typical Friday high, broke that Friday high, ran about 45 pips once again. And now we have this little double top. It's just kind of sitting right around that 50% fib, which you can see is right around 123.97. And so that's kind of a strong little consolidation area. And there's a couple of things that I'm looking at here. As far as just setups in general, we have a few things to do. Number one, we can look at this double top as a stronger reversal area, and if that turns out to be the case, somewhere below about 123.85 is going to be a nice little short-term 20 to 30 pip sell trade, about 123.85, and that I would look to trade it just down into about this 123.50 area where we have this nice little consolidation right there. So I would look for that to happen again from about 123.85 to about 123.50, and just to play it safe, grab about 25 pips out of that, no more. And that's what I'm looking at as far as a sell opportunity goes. Once again, just kind of below 123.85. I think we've got 20, 25 pips somewhere in there of some nice trade. Otherwise, I'm just looking at this little 5-minute chart, and we do have a decent amount of resistance right here, or excuse me, support right here, that seems to be holding the market up. So if that is enough, then I'm going to watch this little trend line. If we get a break, which could happen in the next couple of pips, then I think we've got a good chance to run it back up into these highs, back up into this 124.25 area, which again is about 30 or so pips. So watch this little short-term trend line on the euro dollar, and again, below about 123.85, we should see this thing run into about 123.50, 60 area. Above this trend line, we should see this thing run back up into about 124. 2030 area. So mark those on your charts and be ready for those levels. Those are crucial levels. So be ready for that. As far as the pound dollar goes, the pound dollar is kind of interesting. It's not hugely interesting, but it's choppy and wavy and all over the place. And I think a lot of these pairs are going to dip and continue to rally a little bit. I think the euro dollar is going to do that, and I think the pound dollar may do that as well. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see how it's kind of wedging in here just a little bit, and we're kind of coming off the top of that and might make a little run back at the bottom of this trend line and then break out up, for example. But for the next kind of short-term movements here, I think below about 155.90, which you can see this is just right below that daily pivot and some of that kind of support right there. So below about 155.90, I think we've got a nice little sell opportunity to take the pound dollar down. Again, we've got these lows and this nice little support down here, which is about 50 pips down below the level I mentioned. But again, just looking for probably a 20 to 30 pip run, somewhere in that 25-ish pip range. So 155.90 down into potentially about 155.60, 65 kind of general area is about what we'd be looking for. So keep an eye on that and be ready for some of that. Otherwise, on the short term, we have a very similar kind of situation on this pound dollar. And if we get a little break above this trend line, it may get interesting to start to head back up again and get us up into some of that trend line area, which is again about 20 to 30 pips. So that's kind of we're just looking for the little short-term movements right now. This is summertime, markets are choppy, and we just want to get those little quick, easy, nice runs. And so that's what we're looking for on that pound dollar. Again, feel free to pause the video and just mark these levels, because that'll be these will definitely be important levels to keep an eye out on. As far as euro yen goes, this thing's getting a little choppy and consolidated here. I just kind of drew this trend line in here. You can see that it's been running and working with that. I think if we get back up above kind of this area, this general consolidation here, which is about 97.15, so it's about 20 pips from where it currently is, that should potentially get us back up into this 50% fib, because we have the same kind of thing here. The euro yen has kind of run up to the gap in these fib levels and broken above and come back down to, and so on. So I think we're looking for another dip here on this euro yen, and this could take us down into the daily pivot, and even as low as some of this main resistance, or this main support right here, which is about 96, 25, 30 area, and that's some good areas to start looking to get long on this euro yen. So as many of these pairs have, euro dollar big support around 123.15. Pound dollar doesn't have quite that support. Euro yen has big support around 96.30. And so again, if we get a little break of these trend lines, we'll probably get a 20 to 25 pip run. Otherwise, we could get a little bit of a dip further down into that 96.30 area, and that'd be a great area to buy as well on this euro yen. Aussie dollar was our winner last night. We got in, we had a nice little reversal candle right here on major support, 105.35 area. So great little candle here. So we put in an order to buy at 105.44. Instead of 45. I don't really know why I did 44, but it sounded like a good area. And so this candle actually put us in, and it went down just down here to about 38. So it went against us just a couple of pips, and then we had a profit target at 105.80. And as you can see, it had no problem hitting that. We were able to close that for a nice little 36 pips. So great little 36 pip run on that, and the Aussie dollar kind of continues to look okay and decent, but it's getting up into this channel here. I don't really see anything too exciting to get into just yet, but I think the Aussie dollar is going to be rallying, and I think it might have some bigger movements on it. But again, I don't think it's going to do much until we get the news out for the interest rate announcement and the central bank statement for Australia, which is later on tonight. And then last but not least, gold is running up. We saw gold bottom out nicely here about 1583, 82, and it's right back up to some big resistance here, which is around 16, 12, 13, and it's having a little bit of trouble there. Again, above 1630, gold is going to rally probably like crazy if we get above 1630, and this is 1630, and I think we might actually get above that. So we're going to be looking at that, and we'll be looking for some possible trade entries and some details to get into on that. So keep our eyes peeled. We have some good setups, and I'll be sending out some more on Twitter this afternoon and posting them in the chat. So good luck. Hope everyone had a great weekend, and we'll see you guys all in the chat. Thanks, everybody.